I don't know where to begin with this. I'm worried about the direction that this world is going in. My generation, Generation X, we grew up during a time during the Cold War. We feared Russia and nuclear war. We also, in presidential elections during our generation, and then the generations after that, like the millennials and stuff, we never had any attempts on a candidate running for president. We never had this many attempts to kill the man. You know, I'm bisexual. I'm married, been married almost 10 years. But I don't feel the need to incorporate another person in my relationship, even though my husband and I discussed this before we got married. We have an open marriage. But for the LGBTQ plus to shove their ideology down everyone's throat, that's appalling. I know a lot of people in the LGBTQ community who are not for this, that are really upset, pissed off, and don't agree with it. I don't agree that our kids should be taught this stuff in school. They should not be taught transgenderism. When a parent has children, when a mother births her child, parents should have all legal rights over that kid, including whether or not the kid wants to switch genders. But nowadays, schools are no longer legally informed or legally have to inform the parents of anything. Even abortion clinics don't have to inform the parent that their daughter just had an abortion. The only time I believe in abortion is if both the mother and child is at risk of death, if the mother is having chemotherapy and radiation, if it's incest and maybe rape. But other than that, to use it as a birth control, no. You have to excuse my neighbors next door. They're disrespectful. But nowadays, like, see, my generation, we were brought up in a two-parent household. But both of our parents had to work, so we were the latchkey generation kids. Nowadays, kids are no longer in two-parent households. Moms are the ones that do work, maybe two jobs. They're not raising their kids to have respect and common sense. These kids have gone wild. But I do blame the government for using women to break up marriages And I also blame feminism. They're both equally responsible for this. They have indoctrinated young girls to believing that they don't need a man, that they're equal to a man, etc., etc. Her rights, her body. They've indoctrinated young girls and women to believing that they can do whatever they want, but they don't have to take accountability or responsibility. And once you're 18, you become legally an adult. You have to learn to take responsibility for your actions, your accountability. You have to learn to compromise, to apologize when you're wrong. Now, I will be the first one to admit, in my teens and in my 20s, if somebody gave me constructive criticism, I took it as a personal attack. But as I got older, looking back on it, it wasn't a personal attack. They were trying to help me grow and be a better person. So when somebody gives you constructive criticism, don't look at it as a personal attack, because it's not. They're just trying to help you grow in a better way, to help you avoid going down the wrong path or a similar path that that person's been down, done there, and been there and done that kind of situation. They don't want to see you go through the same thing. But another thing I don't agree with is these women pinning babies on men that it's not even their kids. Oh, well, you should just trust me. You should just believe me because, well, I'm a young, innocent woman. Women are the worst. If you look throughout history, women were never trusted. A king never trusted his wife, the queen. A prince never trusted his wife, the princess, or the duchess, or the duke. Never trusted the duchess. Why? Because women are sneaking, lying, and conniving. Women will lie. Women will throw their own mother under a bus just to save their own ass. We need to, and you women are saying that we're still living under the patriarchy? Really? You have far more rights and privileges than a man does. But I don't see many of you in construction, firefighter, oil rigs. But you got your way. You can go into the man's world. But the reason why a lot of these companies are firing you or not even hiring women at all, and even female-led companies that are owned and ran by females are not wanting to hire you because you're lazy. You want to get paid, 25 plus dollars an hour. You want to come in whenever the hell you want. You don't want to stay and do overtime work like men do. And men don't even want to work with you or even communicate in a work setting because they're afraid you're going to say, oh, he, touched you inappropriately, or, oh, well, he raped you. And the man never touched you, never did any of that. Yet his life and his career gets destroyed. If women want to work, they belong as secretaries, clerks, court reporters, and teachers. But really, a woman's place is in the home. Now, you can call me a pick-me if you want to. I really don't care what you call me. The difference is, unlike you, I'm married. I was picked. You women want a divorce over the stupidest issues because he's not giving you enough time and attention at home because he's out there busting his ass to make the money for you to live in the lifestyle you require. If you're simple like me and don't require much, and you don't want that Birka bag, you don't want that name brand this or that name brand that, you don't want to go on all these exotic, expensive vacations, you don't want an expensive car, your marriage will last a lot longer if you're simple and live a simple life. But then you think you have the right to cheat on that man. See, men cheat strictly for sex. Women cheat because they're never happy. The more we have, the less happier we are. We'll never be satisfied. And to me, we need to bring back public shaming for both men and women. If men do something that should be publicly shamed, then they should get shamed. But mainly, we need to bring back public shaming of women. The way they're dressing like whores, the fact that they're sleeping around with every man, having children outside of marriage. When I was in high school, if a girl got pregnant, she wasn't allowed to continue the same high school. She had to go to adult education and get a GED. She was shunned from people in her community, in her city, in her town. We did not put up with that. We need to start doing that. We need to go back to where women take care of the house and the kids, and the men go out and work. And what's even scarier is that men don't want to get married anymore. They don't even want to date you. And then you wonder why. You'll go out to dinner. I've seen some videos where some chicks have ordered 6 entrees and an appetizer. Or a chick will bring her friend along or her family and expect him to pay a $1,200 dinner bill. That's why men don't want you. You expect men to pay for everything. You think that you can hit a man and it's okay. See, the way I see it, if you hit a man, he's got every right to lay you out flat and hit you back and knock you the fuck out. Because he's got the right to defend his body. You invaded his personal space. Now, I'm not an advocate of anybody hitting anybody. Men shouldn't be hitting women. Women should definitely not be hitting a man. Men have the upper body strength. With one hit and hitting you in the right place, a man can kill you. Stop hitting. You say you're an adult, you say you're a grown-ass woman, but you're acting like a child. You want the accountability of a child, where you're not made to take accountability. And I'd like to see more women get arrested for domestic violence. I really would. I'd like to see your careers get ruined because you've been getting away with shit for far too long. Another thing that scares me is the price of housing and food. The fact that there's scarcity of food. When I was a kid growing up as Generation X, I used to see in the news long lines in Russia of everyday people. And I saw how bare their shelves were. And now that's happening to us in this country. Because we, as the everyday average people, have given our power away to these politicians who've made government so big. Government wasn't made to be big. We were supposed to elect people who represented us, because we never hold these people accountable for the actions that they take, like with this woke culture bullshit. Now we're suffering the consequences. America has become the laughingstock of the world. We used to be respected. But now we've turned into bullies, telling other countries, that Christianity is the only true religion. We try to tell them how to run their country instead of just being there to help them develop and help them get a foothold with freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, all the freedoms that we enjoyed once. That's now being stripped from us. And now we also have to worry about getting nuked. Because Biden ran his mouth, Biden decided to support Ukraine, and now he's getting in with Israel and Taiwan. We need to stay out of other countries' affairs and let them handle their own things. Now, the only time I would suggest that we step in is if there's human rights abuses anywhere in the world. Abuse against the elderly, against children, against animals, against women, against men. Any type of human rights abuse or animal abuse. Then we can step in. Other than that, let countries fight out their own shit. But now, we have to live with the fact that we could get completely nuked off the planet. And this is, see, the Democrat Party, back when I was growing up, wasn't for war. They were for the working middle class and the poor people. And I was a lifelong Democrat for years. Until recently, and I switched and became a Republican. After Obama's second term, or his first term, when Obama had his first term over and ran for a second, I didn't vote. I stopped voting because I realized something. When you vote, your vote really doesn't count. What really counts is the Electoral College vote. But now we can't even trust the voting system. Now we have to worry about government going after people that have evidence that they can prove something isn't right, and they have the evidence to back it up, and they speak the truth, now we could end up just like Trump. We could be arrested, prosecuted, and thrown in jail because you're a Christian, because you were praying outside of an abortion clinic, because you spoke the truth on something, because you showed evidentiary proof that something isn't right, and you can still be arrested, persecuted, or should I say railroaded, convicted, and imprisoned. This is the world we live in. But we, everyday average people, the middle class and the poor, we can rise up together and we can do something about it. Now, don't get me twisted here. I'm not advocating violence. But we've got to secure our borders. And for them to sit there and say these Venezuelan gangs, aren't taking over apartments and this, that, and they're lying to you. They're lying to you. I'm really ashamed to even call myself an American. And don't get me twisted on this either. I'm a hardcore patriot. There's a difference. I believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But where our country is at right now and how our country is being represented, I'm ashamed to even say I'm an American. Hell, if you really want proof about being persecuted, I have 4 Facebooks. One of them is for my ULC pastor thing I do, because I am an ordained minister. I have been banned from all 4 without a reason, without them telling me what the violation was, even though I emailed them and tried to ask. So I can't get on any of my Facebook accounts. But I think I know why. Because I would post my thoughts or my views or videos of YouTubers who have people in high places that give them the actual facts of things that are actually going on. And because I post things about things that people should know or ought to know, they took it upon themselves to be like, nope, misinformation, we're going to ban all your accounts. Mm-hmm. And they will do it to you. Yeah. Yet I keep getting notifications all the time of whatever my Facebook friends are doing or Facebook friend suggestions, but I can't log in. I can't get in. And I've been banned for 6 months, 180 days. But I have other platforms, so Facebook can go suck a nut. I really don't care. But you're not going to stop me from speaking the truth. I will find a way to do it. Well, Anyway, that's all I have, folks. I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions on what's going on with the world and the awful direction it's going. God bless. Show kindness and respect. Use your common sense. Stay blessed and have a great day.